Cassandra Negley, welcome to the Sport Profile.
Thanks for having me.
I'm super excited for this. We were just talking before about how dogs are super important to your life. I see the photo but right behind you.
Yeah.
Is that, I assume that's yours.
Yes.
That's your dog.
This is Scooby. He was my first ever dog,
Aw.
actually. He died about a year ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, very hard. And we were kind of just talking about like everyone's going through something you don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I covered the finals and I was gone for home for a month while we knew he had cancer and he could die at any time. But came home and we had one last great vacation and yeah.
How tough was that to think about during the finals?
Very hard. It's always in the back of your mind. You know, I had a conversation with my editor before I left and I was like, you know, what's going on with my dog? And he interrupted me. He said, I know if you need to go home, like if it's the day, like we'll get you on a plane and you'll go home.
Yeah.
So that meant a lot, but it was little things like my husband would call me every day at a time that he knew was like a good time, just so that I saw his name like on my phone, so that if it was the call, like my heart wasn't sinking every time I saw his name.
Yeah, it kind of gets that repetition up.
Yeah. And I've talked with so many people about this in this day and age, especially when you have a dog that's like in the house with you all the time. I brought him with me everywhere. Like he'd hop in the car with me to go get groceries. Like he is your kid and he's your family.
Sure.
And it's so hard to say goodbye to that.
Yeah. There's something really powerful in that too. It's like you mentioned that your dog is like your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, look, I don't have any pets, but for people who don't really know what that dynamic is like, I'm curious if you can explain what it means to you.
To have a dog that's like my kid?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a dog growing up. I
Sure.
think my dad always wanted a dog, but I understand now, like, there's a responsibility to it.
Sure.
So we did have cats, and I loved my cat. He was my best friend. But having a dog is like, it keeps you regimented in the toughest of times. He's always there. Like, he's like a cuddle bug. I think also, especially like with the holidays coming up, he is a therapy in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're in a bad family situation or like things are getting tense, you're just like, oh, I gotta go walk the dog.
Yeah, that's your out.
Yeah, that's your out.
That's your out from discussing politics at the dinner table.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, Scooby's gotta go outside. We're gonna maybe see you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I think for a lot of people, kids are a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
And dogs are a huge responsibility. We talk all the time like they're like a little toddler and stuff, but
Yes.
it's just it's a lesser kind of responsibility, I guess. I don't like to, but I can leave my dog home alone for, 4 hours, 5 hours, and it's okay. Like I can go do my own thing.
Yeah, you don't have any fear that he's gonna like destroy your living room.
Yeah, I do have
Unless
to
you
put
do.
food and I do have to put food and stuff like far away, but no, he does not destroy the living room. We have our guy Kenji now, his Scooby's little brother.
Okay. You were talking before as well about potentially adopting a second dog.
Mm-hmm.
What are your philosophies on adopting versus like what's the other option? I'm
Buying
blanking
a
here.
dog.
Buying a dog. Yeah. I've heard conversations over the years where like adoption is so much better than just buying a dog outright.
Yeah.
So educate me a little bit here.
I love this question. Actually, this has become an immense passion of mine.
Yeah.
So Scooby, my husband adopted him probably about a year before we started dating.
Okay.
And at the time, like when I started dating him, and Scooby was in my life, it was like, oh yeah, adopt, don't shop, right? It's like fun. It's like what you
Yeah,
say.
you always hear that phrase, adopt, don't shop.
Adopt, don't shop. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, of course, like adopt. And then we adopted Kenji from the Central New York SPCA. And at the time, everything was fine. Like they got along great. These two never had a problem. But Kenji
Mm-hmm.
at some point became reactive, probably from Scooby that we didn't know in some ways.
Little jealous
And
type, you think?
I think so. Like, I wonder if part of it is like Kenji had a family now and he was going to protect it. And
Yeah,
like these were
yeah,
his people. Yeah. And I also think like he wasn't socialized and he didn't know how
yeah.
to interact and play. Exactly. So we have done so much training with him. We've had to set different boundaries, different rules. Like we've become much better dog owners.
Okay.
I when Scooby died, um, we had long talked about volunteering at the SPCA. And so we started doing that in January, February.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, one of the dogs that we're hoping to adopt, and we'll see, is from the SPCA. He's been there
Fingers
a year.
crossed.
Thank you, everyone. Um, I've been working with him for a long time. And I'm getting to your question because
Yeah.
being at the SPCA, you see dogs who have just been left or forgotten or not cared for. You see how good of dogs they are when they have the opportunity to be good dogs. And so
Mm-hmm.
now, like, adopt, don't shop is serious to me. Like, our SPCA has 170 dogs. They do not have enough room for all of these dogs. To adopt a dog and like pour into them and have them be a part of your family, like it's so important for you and like you'll feel that back, but you are literally giving a dog a life, you know?
Yeah.
And I hear like all the time people are like, "Oh, well, I work, out of the home 8 hours a day." Okay, but like spending 7 hours with your dog at home is way better than a dog being in a crate at the shelter. So adopt, don't shop is like insanely important to me and critical. And it means more than it ever used to having Kenji and working at the
Sure.
shelter.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. For people who don't really know, buying a dog versus adopting a dog, adopting isn't cheap either. Or
Um,
is it? I don't know how it works.
so I'm not super high knowledgeable. I do
Sure.
know that there are certain dogs like purebreds. Like I've known people who pay thousands of dollars for a dog, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Adopting a dog at like your SPCA or the Humane Society, it'll probably cost you a couple $100.
Oh,
But
okay.
that comes with like um, spay and neuter, sometimes a
Mm.
microchip. They're taken care of, like those kinds of
Yeah, yeah.
things. I think also, Kenji, his name was Ken at the shelter. We didn't know this until I went in to sign the paperwork, but he was free because someone had sponsored him. So he had
Oh,
been in the
wow.
shelter for a year. And so what we then did is we said, well, we have this $175 that we are going to give you for Kenji. So we'll now sponsor a dog with that money.
Oh,
So
that's
for
so
all you
cool.
know, yeah, if you want to adopt a dog, it
It
may
could
end up
even
being a
be
lot
free.
cheaper than you thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was something there's a tie into this.
Okay.
When you were going through your hard time,
Yeah.
I saw a photo. I almost called this like the women's basketball Avengers lineup. Ben
Okay.
Pickman posted it back in like October.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're gonna get the photo in your mind.
I do. Yeah.
It's you, Annie Costable's taking the photo, Ben, Alexa Philippou, Maddie Kenny, I believe, is in there, and you're all on the ground in what seems to be a hotel or a hallway. What is that community like within the beat writers?
It is, I feel like it grows every year. That was in the
Mm,
hallway of Mandalay Bay. Uh, I think the women's basketball landscape, we've all been now doing this like 4 or 5 years, right? Like this wasn't invested in before.
yeah.
So you have a group of us who are on like our fourth or fifth finals, and you have people you can tap into. But also, like you had mentioned, like hard times. I love this job. It's great. I love being able to travel. I love being on the ground. But when you're talking about covering the finals, for some of us like me or Alexa, who lives in Connecticut, and Connecticut wasn't in the playoffs this year, we're on the road for 6 straight weeks to cover this.
Yeah.
It gets hard. You always have a lot to do, and especially with like the CBA and the Kathy Engelbert and Afisa Collier of it this year,
Yep.
it weighs on you and it's heavy sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
so the people in that photo, different combinations of us went out and like did karaoke, just going out to dinner. Like there's just people you can be around and you talk about your job, but it's not working.
Yeah. It's like everybody in that photo obviously is very close with you, but it's like you all understand that like you're more than your work.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Like, and I've had different conversations with different people about that. Like, this job can eat up your entire life.
Right.
And speaking strictly for myself, like, I don't want it to, I
Of
want to
course.
walk the dogs. I want to go out into the woods. Like, I want to have my life. And you have to be really careful about carving it out.
Sure. There's obviously like the balance. Some people say like work-life balance, others say like, yeah, that's not a thing. We're going to do work-life integration. And I'm like, okay, you do you.
Okay.
Um
Interesting.
yeah, right. I don't really subscribe to the latter. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really see work-life integration as much as I do see balance, but like interesting perspective. I'll respect
Fair.
it.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, I wanted to ask about that too. Like well, first, because you mentioned karaoke, you're not getting off the hook with this one. What is your go-to karaoke song?
I don't have a go-to, but I sang Come Clean by Hilary Duff. So, like,
How'd you know I
yeah.
just listened to that like 20 minutes ago?
Well, what's hilarious is this was before, like, she had teased new music. So then in the group chat,
Yes.
like, yeah, someone dropped it and, like, I was singing Mature. I've been singing Mature for the past month.
I have like 2 podcast ritaals that I do
Okay.
beforehand. I'll dance around my room just to hype myself up a little bit,
I like it.
and then I'll take a drink of mouthwash. Not drink, I
Okay.
won't swallow it. That's crazy.
I would hope not. Yeah.
No, I had a teacher who did that once though. I had like an 8th
A
grade teacher.
teacher
Yeah, I had like an 8th grade science teacher,
as
by
a
the way.
lesson.
No, not as a lesson. She just like did
Oh,
it. Like some people bring
ooh.
coffee, like your drink of
Yeah.
choice. Like, dude, she brought
Yeah.
like biotine.
Is she still alive?
I don't know. I
I
hope
want to
so.
check
I wouldn't.
Facebook.
I mean, listen. I don't know, but I just have that like burned in my head. Like she would
That's
just like,
disturbing.
have mouthwash next to her. But yeah, I was listening to Come Clean 20 minutes before we started.
I love it.
It's like a good era of music, or like early
Yes.
2000s.
We were tapping hard into like the old school emo. Yeah. I actually just learned about Midwest emo because it came up on
Midwest
my
emo?
Midwest emo. It came up on my Spotify Wrapped last night.
Okay.
I don't have the definition up, but it was just kind of like, yeah, like sad, sappy songs. And I was like, didn't know emo had regions.
Yeah, right. What was on your Spotify Wrapped?
A lot of Pod Meets World. I use
Okay.
Spotify the most for podcasts, honestly.
Nice.
Very nostalgia. Yeah.
I'm an Apple Music guy.
Okay. I
Apple
have an
Music.
Android.
Oh, you're a green bubble.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm that
So it makes
person.
sense.
You want to talk about the National Writers Chat? I thought I got away with it, but the last day, I think it was Katie Barnes was like, "I know you have the Android."
What's Katie Barnes doing? Just pointing the finger at you and being like, yeah, "You're the problem here."
It was just between us. It wasn't in front of people.
It'd be like, we only allow a certain type of person into these chats.
Apple people take it seriously. All you Apple people.
I don't know.
Our families all have Apple too, so
That's fun. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ours definitely do. My sister was like, I might get an Android. I'm like, no, you won't. You won't. You're just learning. She was on like a very old iPhone for a while before she like got like a newer one. But she was very hesitant to do it. But you got into this a little bit before with karaoke, with the stuff you were doing with, I'll call them the women's basketball Avengers. And I mean, it's like we all see you. You're part of like the biggest names in women's basketball on the reporting side. You talked about those ways that you stay grounded doing karaoke and things like that with the group in that setting. But for you personally, like, you know, what are some things that you're doing to stay grounded?
It's a good question. Uh, I try and think about it and make sure I'm doing it. But one of the biggest things is like my husband and I are outdoor people,
Yeah,
and our dogs have been outdoor people. So he works for the New York State Fair. So in August into September, like he is insanely busy. We don't really see each
sure.
other.
Yeah,
I'm home for a week and then I leave for 6 weeks and we don't really see each other. So when I got home last month, we took a week and went to Tennessee, went camping, took some
that's so cool.
yeah, like side by sides out, went hiking, explored little towns. Like we didn't shut our phones off this time, but the phones are to the side. Like I'm
Yeah.
not checking anything.
Like if it happens, like you're willfully passing it by.
Yes, like college basketball was going on because
Sure.
women's basketball is year round. And I
It
did
is.
see Hannah Hidalgo's 16 steals, like that notification came
Oh,
through.
I remember that.
Yeah. And like we went out to a barbecue place the next day and they had highlights on, but
Sure.
I'm not looking into it. I'm not reading a story about it. Like I have my books and that's what I'm reading and
Oh.
I'm hanging out with my dog and that's it.
What's on your Goodreads lately?
I read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, actually on recommendation from some writers, from some
Okay.
national Avengers. Enjoyed that. I just read, I'm a huge Mindy Kaling fan.
Nice.
So she has like the book thing with Amazon Reads, and I read Yours for the Season, which is just kind of like a easy romance read. Like
Very
obviously they
cool.
end up together, but a lot of like Muslim Indian culture, and it was based in Alaska, so I love that kind of stuff.
Nice. Have you ever been to Alaska?
No, I have not, but I would love to do one of those cruises in Alaska. Only in Alaska, no other cruise.
What are those cruises?
You just take a cruise and you like see
You just go to
icebergs and
Alaska?
polar bears. No, I think
Hmm.
it's you start in Alaska.
Oh, you start in Alaska.
I think, yeah.
Huh. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a traveler. I would love to. I really, really would. I'd love to go to Tennessee. I have a friend who's about to move out there. So, I mean, there's my reason right now to go
Yeah.
visit. But I've I really just want to I would love to travel more. This will probably make you cringe. I've never booked a plane ticket by myself or on my own.
It does not make me cringe. Well, on your own. Well, you don't travel a lot. This is what
So,
I'll say about plane tickets, though, quickly.
yeah.
When I went to my first Final Four, which was Minneapolis, that was the first time in like 10 years that I had been on a plane.
Hmm. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I say I haven't booked one by myself, my parents did it when I was like 12. We went to Disney. When I was 19 and an undergrad rider took a trip to California, they did that. And then in 2022, when I covered the Jewish Olympics in Israel, they
That's
were
very
like,
cool.
oh, it was the best experience of my life. They were like, hey, show up here, show up here, show up here, show up here. It was the most organized thing I've ever seen. They're like I didn't get my ticket till we got to the airport.
That would stress me
So
out.
yeah, and it stresses me out too. But I mean,
Yeah.
like that. What I mean is like they handled it for us. It was like they
Yeah.
did that. I'm like, okay, just show up. I'm like, cool, could do that. What about during the season though? how are you staying grounded during the season? Once you do unplug, I mean, everybody says journalism is 24/7. Sure, we've all experienced that, but
Hmm.
there is a time when your head hits the pillow at night. So how are you staying unplugged during the season?
Similar things, like making sure we kind of started talking about dogs, but like,
Yeah.
middle of the day, the dog gets walked. He's not a morning dog walker, the one we have now,
Mm.
Kenji. So, making sure I take time for that, or like stepping away from the computer. Um, I think I've also gotten better about really like making a schedule for myself,
Oh, I love a good to-do list.
Yeah, like a to-do list, but also maybe like a not to-do list.
Not
Like
to-do list.
a not to-do list, because when you cover women's basketball, you could be watching women's basketball for your job every
Mhm.
night of the year, almost.
Yeah.
And that's a lot when you add in, the daily reporting or the checking in with people or what have you.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know if this perfectly answers your question, but I think I've gotten better and continue to get better at, like, we're talking on the day that Duke and LSU are playing. That's a
Yes.
game I want to watch. There are other
Mm-hmm.
games tonight. So if there are games, big games tonight, but maybe not as big of games on Friday, like, I'm not going to watch games on Friday night. I'm going to
Sure.
do other stuff. I have a game night with friends. Like, that's what we're going to
Oh,
do.
that's so fun. What games are we playing?
We have this friend who is like super into board games. So he has these German games that are very cool.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
for Halloween, I wish I knew the names of the games, but for Halloween, we did this game where the table is your board, so like just a kitchen table,
Sure.
and you, however, you pick up like pieces that are the road, and you can make your witch fly to wherever they need to go by
Hmm.
like designing it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Our family game is Rummy Cube.
Okay.
You ever play Rummy
Okay.
Cube?
Yes.
Dude, it gets competitive.
Yeah.
It gets very
Uh,
competitive.
we I don't know if we have a favorite game, but we played Sorry with my niece and nephew at
Nice.
Thanksgiving. They
That
were
go
getting
over well with them?
competitive. So here's what happened. I was getting
Famous
frustrated.
words.
Aunt Casey was getting frustrated because they kept sending me home. First of all, I couldn't get out of my house. Second of all, they kept
No.
sending me home, but they love Uncle Jack, okay? And my brother was kind of helping them. So I was like, fine, whatever. I finally get out. Do you want to know who won the game? My dad gave me so much crap. I won the game.
Really?
Yes. I was like, Dad, I went through this and I earned it. He was like, jokingly, he was like, you couldn't just let them win. I was like, absolutely
No.
not. Like,
They
you
kept
don't know
sending
what
you
they did
home.
to me, Dad.
That's great. Yeah, just no remorse.
No, no,
I'd be the
they're
same way,
eight
first of
and
all.
six. Yeah, like it's
Oh, they can
fine.
handle remorse.
You want to know what my niece, Autumn, she sends me home I finally get one out, okay? Everyone has one, like, in their little safe spot.
Yeah.
I finally get one out. She sends me home. She goes, sorry, it's just part of the game. I was like, was that
That
necessary?
pissed me off. That would piss me off so much. First of all, your name there's a few things that would set me off in that scenario. First of all, your name dropped the game in a sarcastic comment. That would
Exactly.
piss me off, number one. Number
I was
two,
kind of proud of her.
yeah, but that shows you that she can handle some smoke,
She knew what she was
right?
doing. Yeah.
Right. So for you, who's obviously older, and her aunt, I feel like you'd go in to be like, oh, you're dead. Like,
My, I think Uncle Jack looked at me across the table, was like, oh no,
oh,
you
you set
awakened
her
her
off.
Autumn.
Yeah, I'd be like, I wouldn't have said that if I were you.
Yeah.
Like if I was Jack, I would have looked at her and been like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You're
I
going
think
to lose.
both husband and brother were like, oh no.
I would have been the same way if I were you, first of all. I think you reacted absolutely appropriately. If anybody was giving you shit for how you responded to that situation, they're just wrong.
They were not. It was all in good fun, thankfully.
Of course. Of course it is. But
That's true. I
you
guess
play
the
to win.
comment section could be bad here. We don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. So it's games, it's your dogs, it's your family, which is also amazing. You said before, women's basketball is year round.
Mhm.
And I'm super happy that it's become that, and it's giving people so much more to write. So I wanted to ask you too about, like, journalism and stuff as well. What stories are your favorite to write? What stories that, if you have the opportunity to, or topics rather
Mhm.
than specific stories, more so topics. What topics are you really jumping at to write about?
I really like people's stories. Um, I like when people, everyone has a story, right?
Yeah.
But some people's stories are I like the people's stories who touch other people. They mean something
Mm.
to other people. I did this story Athletes Unlimited's first year. Becca Wan Taylor was kind of like a walk-on.
Yeah.
Um, and a PR person had reached out to me and told me about her, and she had just had,
Oh wow.
I believe at the time, like a really difficult miscarriage. But in the time since, like she had had her daughter, and she was like a walk on to AU playing pro basketball, which turned
Yeah.
into since then playing overseas. And I think those are the kind of stories that I like to tell, like Isabel Harrison's brother needing a kidney,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff that people read like in depth and have context that's not just, a player posting 500 words. Like
Mm-hmm.
those are the stories that I like telling the most.
I love that so much. And it's a lot about what I like to kind of preach with the sport profile. It's like every writer says they want to do something beyond the X's and O's,
Hmm.
but rarely do they get the time to actually do it. Sometimes they do. It's so awesome when they do, because they always say it's their best work. But
Hmm.
you said that story came to you about I'm drawing a quick blank. The player who had a miscarriage.
Becca.
Becca,
Yeah.
yeah. You said that came to you from a PR person. So my next question is along those lines. Like, what stories do you wish people would come to you with more?
I mean, honestly, like not to take the easy out, but those kinds of stories, a story where a player is really or person, coach, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like is really willing to go deep about a topic like
Yeah.
that and be honest and true, because I think sometimes PR agents will reach out with like, I want this kind of story because it makes my player look good. And obviously that's their job and I don't, blame them for that.
Of course.
But, if you want people to like really understand the player, like there's stuff that they should be talking about or should want to talk about in a real and true way that is
Yeah.
not just, I want a cool headline about my player.
Right. Yeah. I think so many people chase those cool headlines in like media relations, and it's like, we get it, like that's their job for sure, but like there's a more authentic way to spin that it's like, hey,
Yeah.
that gets me so much more interested in that too.
Hmm.
What are some misconceptions about that though? Like some misconceptions about like the journalist versus like PR relationship that you've experienced maybe.
Ooh. Um, I don't know about misconceptions. Can you throw out like an example or
Oh, probably
a
can.
misconception?
I think a misconception is that a journalist PR relationship is transactional. That's a misconception, because it's not. If you're a good journalist and you're a good PR person, you're going to put in the work to make that relationship more than transactional. So you actually have a relationship where it's like, hey, I could text you about some news that I have, or, you know, vice versa. You could text a publicist or an agent, say, hey, I really want to tell this type of story. How can we work together to make that happen? That's one part of it. But then you're also shooting the shit as like a relationship. Like, you know, saying happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, you know, that are coming up, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
may be, to just show it's like how you said in the beginning, it's like, dude, we're all human here. Yeah, we got jobs to do, and you can lock in. Like, trust me, everybody in that WNBA media Avengers picture can lock in. They could defeat Thanos in 2 seconds. I'm a Marvel nerd. I'm so sorry.
I
But
can
like,
tell, yeah.
yeah. Then there's times when you're just all singing karaoke and having a blast, reminiscing about Hillary Duff, you know?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the misconceptions, I think.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think a misconception too, maybe internally and not externally, is like that we're always at odds, that there's
Yeah.
always issues. And when it comes down to it, it's not, because as
Right.
you said, like there's a mutually beneficial relationship that should be happening, right?
Yes.
If you're talking about like a team PR person, yes, they have a certain job, right? They have to protect the company, the team.
Absolutely.
But they also have a job of like setting up their players and their coaches in a way that they can share their story, that they do,
Yeah.
have marketability because their story is told, or their, personal past is explained, or whatever. Like
100%.
it's not a constant animosity thing, and it shouldn't be.
I I'm so glad you said that, first of all, because I see that all the time. I see people talking about how there is such animosity, or perceived animosity rather. And it's just like, dude, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, couldn't be further from the truth with the amount of publicists I've dealt with in my young professional career, and I'm sure you have as well. Like, yeah, at some points it can be a little adversarial, but by and large, it's not. I'm so, so glad you said that. The last question I do ask everybody is, just professionalism aside, your reporting career aside, just strictly you as a person, Cassandra Negley, what do you like most or admire about yourself?
I looked at your Instagram and saw you ask people this. And I really appreciate it, because it made me think, like really think last night
Hmm.
about that. I think it was explained to me once by a good friend in college, like I can be a turtle. There's a really hard shell.
A
I can
turtle.
be I can be blunt and to the point, sarcastic, like, but if you allow me to kind of come out of that shell, right? If you stick around, like we are going to be tight. Like I'm going to
Yeah.
protect my people. I think I'm more of an empath than I thought, and that can be
Hmm.
heartbreaking, but also like the way I think about other people and like my thoughtfulness,
Yeah.
I think does make me proud. Like I'm often thinking like, huh, this group chat has been quiet for a little bit, or like, what's this person doing?
Yeah.
I send postcards to my niece and nephews, like from every stop I make on the road, just like checking in. Like, I think those little things I'm proud of.
That's amazing, and so beautiful that you do that for your niece and nephew too. And what an awesome answer too.
Oh, thank
Like,
you.
I love that so much. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. It's been super awesome just seeing your work and getting to hear your story here. So thank you again for coming on.
Thanks for having me, and for all the other interviews you do with us.